It's like I want to cry, I kind of want to laugh. There is just so much happening in this one scene. Folks, The Fifth Element happens to be one of the greatest science fiction movies ever made. It's a perfect blend of like space adventure and comedy, and there's some romance and some violence. And then just when you think you've got every possible plate spinning in the air, they throw in a dose of pretentious, high art. We're going to be taking a look at the opera scene from Fifth Element, which happens to not only be one of the best scenes in this movie on a technical level, but it plays just as well. It's kind of a point in the movie where the movie shifts into something much bigger than it originally was. I guess, simply put, it's where this incredibly fun sci-fi action romp becomes art. Let's talk about it.
Let's be honest, The Fifth Element shouldn't work. It's a loud, neon-splattered sci-fi epic where aging aliens team up with a chain-smoking New York cabbie to save the world from a giant ball of space evil. It has kung fu, flying cars, a blue opera diva, and Chris Tucker screaming in a leopard print onesie.
Stop melting, ladies, because the boy is hotter than hot. He's hot.
On paper, this thing sounds like someone dared Luc Besson to make a space opera based on the doodles on a teenager's trapper keeper. And yet, somehow, it all works. Not only does it work, it thrives. It struts. It's campy, chaotic, and weirdly beautiful. The Fifth Element is one of those rare cinematic juggling acts where multiple tones, comedy, romance, action, and high-concept sci-fi bounce off each other in such a wild rhythm, you'd swear it's on the verge of collapse. So, how does a movie about a supreme being in bondage straps and a McDonald's drive-thru in space manage to feel prestigious? The answer lies in one word: balance.
Lulu Dallas Multipass.
Yeah.
Multipass.
Multipass. You know that's Multipass. Lulu Dallas, my wife. We're newlyweds. Just met. You know how it is. Bump into each other, sparks happen. Yeah, she knows it's a multipass.
From the opening moments, where a spaceship lands in Egypt, priests panic, and Luke Perry holds a pencil like he's ready to stab a mummy, you realize The Fifth Element isn't playing by your usual sci-fi rules. It's not Blade Runner brooding in the rain. It's not 2001: A Space Odyssey whispering about the meaning of life. It's French. It's loud, and wants to blow your hair back with a hairdryer set to Fashion Week at the Apocalypse. Luc Besson, who wrote the original story as a teenager, which explains so much, approached The Fifth Element as a space opera meets Looney Tunes sketch. But instead of descending into total farce, he injects it with genuine emotion and world-saving stakes. The universe is literally seconds away from being destroyed by an evil sentient planet that looks like a flaming meatball. And yet we're still giggling at Corbin Dallas's mom yelling at him on the phone.
Mr. Kim, you should go. This is gonna take a minute.
You wouldn't even feed your white pussycat a croquette.
Tone juggling is risky business. One wrong move, and the whole thing shatters into tonal whiplash. But The Fifth Element stays afloat by letting its chaos be intentional, stylized, and sincere. It commits completely to its madness. The characters might be exaggerated, but the emotions aren't fake. Lilu's tears when she learns about human history? Earned. Corbin's quiet loneliness in his cramped apartment? Surprisingly real. Even Zorg's ridiculous villainy, complete with plastic headgear and Gary Oldman's southern fried accent, works because everyone involved is playing it like it matters.
You see, Father, by creating a little destruction,
Hey, Cherry.
I'm in fact encouraging life. In reality, you and I are in the same business. Cheers.
Bruce Willis, already riding high off his Die Hard days, plays Corbin Dallas like John McClane wandered onto the set of Barbarella. He's grumpy, tired, and permanently stuck in sigh-heavily mode. But he also grounds the film. Corbin is the audience's way into this wild, day-glow world. When flying cop cars whiz past his window or a half-naked alien drops into his taxi, he reacts like any of us would, with a mixture of confusion, sarcasm, and reluctant heroism. The key to Willis's performance is restraint. He never tries to out-camp Chris Tucker or out-weird the Mangalores. He lets the madness swirl around him while he stays just grounded enough to keep us from floating away into nonsense. In a world of absurdity, he's the straight man, but not in the boring sense. He reacts like a real guy forced into a cartoon. He's Bugs Bunny's exhausted neighbor, and that's essential. You need a Corbin Dallas in a movie like this. Someone who looks around at the space priest, the opera singer, the ancient stones of cosmic salvation, and says, "What the hell is going on?"
We're sending somebody in to negotiate!
Anybody else want to negotiate?
Let's not kid ourselves. Mila Jovovich is the Fifth Element. Lilu could have easily been a one-note, chosen one character. A magical girl who punches things and looks great in orange suspenders. But Jovovich brings pathos, humor, and fragility to the role. Her broken English isn't just a gag, it's part of her arc. She's learning humanity, piece by piece, syllable by syllable.
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the store tab on any of our JoBlo channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
And then there's that scene, the opera scene. The opera scene in The Fifth Element is the film's tonal masterpiece. A moment that somehow blends elegance, action, absurdity, and heart into a single sequence without combusting. It starts with the alien diva Plava Laguna singing a haunting aria from Lucia de Lammermoor, bathed in soft blue light, delivering what feels like a high art performance in the middle of a sci-fi fashion show. But just as the audience is lulled into serenity, the music morphs into a techno remix, and Lilu begins taking out a room full of bad guys with a flurry of kicks and flips, each punch syncing perfectly with the diva's vocals. It's absurd. It's glorious. It's a space opera in the most literal sense. What makes it work isn't just the stylish direction, it's the sincerity. The film doesn't treat the opera or the action as a joke. Instead, it lets them elevate each other. The beauty of the music enhances the stakes of the battle, while the ridiculousness of the setting makes the elegance of the scene feel surreal and otherworldly. It's this scene more than any other that shows how The Fifth Element walks the line between camp and class. And on top of all that, it has narrative weight. The diva literally contains the stones needed to save the world. Corbin has to retrieve them from inside her after she dies mid-performance, turning a moment of beauty into grotesque practicality. Let's talk about Ruby Rod because, how could we not? Chris Tucker's performance is either the most annoying thing you've ever seen or absolute genius. Maybe both. He's loud, flamboyant, high-pitched, and perpetually screaming. He's also, arguably, the most realistic character in the movie, because if a future celebrity looked like an alien drag queen who hosts a 24/7 podcast while in the middle of intergalactic war, yeah, that tracks. But Ruby Rod is more than just comic relief. He's the movie's living, breathing personification of style over sanity. His energy cranks the camp to 11, and in doing so, he acts as a palate cleanser for the darker moments. His presence reminds us, this is fun, don't get too serious. We're saving the world, sure, but we can do it while wearing leopard print and screaming in auto-tune.
Yes! What's wrong with you? Just speed it up! Every 5 minutes it's under the bomb or something? I'm leaving.
If tone is the soul of the movie, the production design is its wardrobe, and The Fifth Element is dressed to kill. From Jean-Paul Gaultier's absurdly iconic costume designs, yes, even the ones that look like mesh spaghetti, to the vertical chaos of future New York, every inch of the movie screams stylized absurdity. The film creates a world that feels functional and broken, dazzling and dirty, and completely believable despite looking like a techno Versailles on mushrooms. The sets and visuals reinforce the tone balance. Futuristic but retro, dystopian but fabulous. You believe this world exists because it's committed to itself. The movie isn't afraid to be bright, silly, or over the top, and that courage is what sells it.
Look out!
Whoa. The Fifth Element features a plot built around mystical cosmic stones and a glowing, genetically engineered messiah with orange suspenders. The villain, Zorg, played with unhinged glee by Gary Oldman, never once shares a scene with the hero, Corbin Dallas. The central love story is between two characters who've known each other for approximately the length of a YouTube video. And tonally, this movie swerves like it's driving drunk through genre traffic. Romantic one minute, absurdly slapstick the next, and then suddenly somber and apocalyptic just to keep you on your toes. By all rights, this thing should have collapsed under its own neon-colored weight, and yet it doesn't. In fact, it holds together remarkably well. But why? Because The Fifth Element is utterly, unapologetically earnest. There's no ironic detachment, no characters winking at the audience, no smug commentary about how silly this all is. Luc Besson believed in this story like it was space gospel, written from the heart of his teenage imagination, and he directs with the full conviction of someone painting on the largest, weirdest canvas possible. That commitment bleeds into every frame, from the costume design to the techno-opera soundtrack to the cast, who all go for it like the fate of the galaxy depends on how much they mean it. It's that sincerity, combined with dazzling visuals and a truly eclectic score, that turns what should have been a tonal mess into a cult classic masterpiece. In the end, The Fifth Element is a celebration of extremes. It walks a tonal tightrope above a pit of narrative chaos, and never once looks down. Somehow, through sheer conviction and creative lunacy, keeps its balance, pirouetting across genres with the elegance of a blue alien opera singer and the reckless glee of a cab driver in a flying car. This isn't a movie made for everyone, and that's kind of the point. It's art school with a blockbuster budget. It's what happens when a 16-year-old sketchbook doodles are handed $90 million. It's messy in all the best ways, and stylish in ways that would make the Met Gala feel underdressed. And against all odds, it's a triumph. So, the next time someone tells you your movie is tonally inconsistent, don't apologize. Instead, cue up The Fifth Element. Show them the blue alien opera performance that turns into a kung fu music video, while the end of the world ticks closer. Show them Ruby Rod screaming,
It was bad. It had nothing, no fire, no energy, no nothing. You know I have a shoulder right here, you know? And it must pop, pop, pop.
because sometimes a film doesn't have to choose between comedy and drama, between slapstick and spectacle, between cosmic dread and catwalk couture. Sometimes it could be all of those things, wrapped in a silver jumpsuit, riding a flying taxi on the way to punch a giant, sentient space meatball in the face. And if that's not cinema, then I don't know what is.
Mrs. Dallas, this is the president. On behalf of the Federation, I would like to thank you.
Please, it doesn't even sound like him. The president's an idiot. You don't sound like an idiot. If you don't want to talk to your mother, just avoid me like you.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.